Hi Mucho, it's Malcolm
Kristen.
and we're here to provide you with a little bit of belated feedback on your midterm video. Apologies for it being so late, but as you recall, events got in the way, both with the marathon bombing and then the city lockdown and conflicting schedules. So we're a little late, but as the saying goes, better late than never. I didn't want to just provide you with a sort of, well, this looks good and this looks bad type feedback. I wanted to just sort of look at this from the perspective of the underlying educational principles that we were using in setting this, which really falls into six main areas. The first is, have you demonstrated the requisite foundational knowledge? Have you applied that knowledge? Have you integrated that knowledge into what you're doing? Do you demonstrate the appropriate human dimension in what you're presenting? Do you demonstrate a caring dimension in how you address what you're doing and in public health? And how have you demonstrated your learning approach throughout this course? The first thing I have to say is that really this whole thing is much too long. It was meant to be 5 to 7 minutes, and I think it tops out close to 10, well over 9. And that time is almost sort of feels to be an order of magnitude longer because there's nothing to break the presentation up, and I recognize that it's easy to sit in front of a camera and talk, but it's also extremely difficult to sit and watch that. So very hard to actually maintain attention to what you're saying. It would have helped had you been able to provide some sort of way of breaking it up, maybe some photographs, some PowerPoint slides, even some music, just to divert us, to highlight some of the things you're saying and to bring things out, because nobody's attention is quite as long as it was there. When we come down to the specifics, I like, in terms of the foundational knowledge, I like the way that you compare the implementation in high-income countries and low-income countries, and the way that you identify both the positives and negatives of implementation using that methodology. I think it would have been nice to see a little more direct description of the foundational knowledge that you've gained during this course. That was a little lacking for me. I think that you did mention what you've done and how it's been applied in terms of the work plan, human resources, QI, and information. And I also did like very much the way that you apply the leadership skills from IH 743. That was Wolfie in the background, if you noticed him coming in there. And how you've used this part of it, how to lead peers and not subordinates. I think that's a very important lesson, and I know that you and I have talked about that before as well. I think that I did like the human dimension that you brought into this, describing where you come from, both professionally and physically. I liked the caring aspect of how you're working in a team and how you've had to learn to work in a team. And I also liked the way that you brought out how you've learned different styles of presentation and leadership through all of this. I think it's somewhat ironic that you brought on the key on learning presentation skills, how you've learned how to prepare a catchy presentation and how to do it well, and yet your video sort of lacks some of that flair that your team brought in with, I forget his name now, was it Eric, who bounced in looking for a job, and the dragons in your presentation. So I'm going to pass over to Kristen now.
Mucho. I'm going to echo some of what Malcolm said. I think that I really would have liked to hear more about your previous experiences and your background. I think you did a great job introducing that, but I would have liked even more. I think adding those personal touches really help your viewer get to know who you are. We've had the pleasure of getting to know you throughout the semester, but your energy was a little low in the video, and inserting some more pictures or some other commentary about your experience and what the course has offered you might have given the viewer a better sense of who you are. So,
all right. Take care then. See you on Tuesday week for Movie Madness. Take care.